New York Times culture writer Farah Nayeri joins me now in the studio. Thank you very much for coming in.
Thank you.
So, Farah, these works were taken in conditions that were perhaps legitimate in those days at that time, but perhaps not legitimate today. So who do you think should own it?
Well, that's not a question that a reporter can reply to, especially not one from the New York Times. I mean, our job is to basically look at both sides of every issue. And in this particular case, I would have to say that the African continent really is deprived of these works. I mean, 90 to 95% of them are in major Western museums. That's a colossal percentage. It's a huge ratio, and it's something that is, there is an evident imbalance. On the other hand, if we give back everything that is in major museums in the West, then what is going to be left in the West in museums that do attract visitors from all over the world? So really, there are so many different complex issues to look at in this.
And what are these pieces of art and why are they so important?
Well, I mean, I was recently in Paris visiting the Quai Branly Museum, which has something like 70,000 objects from sub-Saharan Africa. And these are objects that can range from royal thrones, effigies of kings, gates of palaces, mosques, and also very, very important religious objects. So these are really pieces of heritage that are of crucial importance to the history of Africa, sub-Saharan Africa, and to these countries, their identity and their culture. And by the way, there's a whole set of sculptures from present-day Nigeria, from the Kingdom of Benin, that now are in the British Museum and in Berlin, among other places. And they are treasures from 16th, 17th century that correspond to the period of the late Renaissance, of a beauty that is really matching the beauty that you find in Renaissance sculpture. So yeah.
Farah, if this is legalized, though, will it pave the way for many countries to claim their heritage back?
I think if President Macron endorses and embraces what these two report writers have recommended, then that will definitely open the gates. It will open the floodgates, and museums all over in major Western capitals are going to be facing questions of that sort. However, today I saw that one of the news wires, I believe, rang the presidential palace, and an advisor, unnamed, sort of said, well, the president will have other consultations before making up his mind. So I don't think that he's going to immediately say, yes, let's do whatever the report says.
So, I mean, reclaiming this art is also, in a sense, a way for countries to reclaim their story from their former colonizers.
Absolutely. I mean, this is, there's no question about that. And I think it's a story that is being told currently in the major museums of the Western world, to which people from sub-Saharan Africa don't have easy access because, as one of the writers of the report, who's French, pointed out, how do they get visas? How do they get the visas to go to Paris, to go to London, to the British Museum or the Quai Branly Museum and see these works? I mean, there is a true problem that does need addressing. I mean, these museums say that they're universal. At the same time, in Britain, for instance, we have Brexit. So, and we have a movement to, sort of close borders or make them less open. So how does the universe access or get access to these universal collections? Do you know what I mean? So, yes, I mean, as I said, it's an issue of incredible complexity.
Well, we'll wait and see. That's all the time we have. Thank you very much for coming in. New York Times culture writer Farah Nayeri here with us in the studio.
Thank you so much.